Hello viewers, hope you have been richly blessed through other videos by Ambassador Dr. Moses. Stay glued as he give you more training on leadership that will transform and impact your life and other people around you.
Hi everyone. It's so great and lovely to have you watching or listening to us today. I am Ambassador Dr. M.D. Alege. I am a humanitarian, a life coach, a trainer, a speaker, and a prolific writer. I'm the founder of the Exceeding Expectations Foundations, as well as the founder and executive director of Dasayo Eternal Exploit Enterprises Limited. That is DARE. Dasayo Eternal Exploit Enterprises Limited as a subsidiary organizations, institutions that teaches people and organizations personal and corporate success, leadership, and a number of other things to create awareness about climate change as well. You will be privileged to always listen to my leadership training, and in listening to it, I want to assure you that it's going to tremendously, stupendously, and immensely transform your life. All you couldn't do in the last 1 decade, you will be able to do in the next 1 year. I encourage you to subscribe to our leadership training. This leadership training, regular leadership training, you will be watching and listening to is powered by the subsidiary organizations or institution of Dasayo Eternal Exploit Enterprises Limited called Dasayo Economic Intelligent Leadership Institute. It is the subsidiary organizations or institutions of Dasayo Eternal Exploit Enterprises Limited. Dasayo Economic Intelligent Leadership Institute will be bringing your way trainings on leadership, on personal and corporate success, and other areas that will tremendously benefit your life. Thank you very much for always investing your time in watching and listening to me. Thank you.
All right, in today's leadership solution, we shall be talking on ethics. The online Merriam-Webster dictionary defines ethics as rules of behavior based on ideas about what is morally good and bad. I think I would prefer these redefinitions by Stephen P. Robbins and Mary Coulter in their legendary landmark management book. They redefined ethics as the principles, values, and beliefs that define right and wrong decisions and behavior. I think I prefer that one because we are talking here about principles, values, and beliefs. And these are teachings that we inculcate and internalize that shape our behaviors, our decisions, and what we consider to be right or wrong. The important, cardinal, relevant, germane question then is what informs the values, the ethics, the principles that we internalize and imbibe? That is the questions that we need to answer, because you cannot just develop or internalize or pick up your ethics or behaviors or your principles from individuals who are not accepted, globally accepted as our standard for behaving. Now, let me quote from the Bible in the Mark chapter 7 verse 12, the Message Bible versions of this passage. He said, here is a simple rule of thumb, guide for behavior. Ask yourself what you will want people to do for you, then grab the initiative and do it for them. Add up God's laws and prophets, and you arrive at this. That's what it says. So ethics cannot be categorized in our lives according to the legendary leader, generational and global leader, John C. Maxwell. It says ethics cannot be categorized in our lives. People try to use one set of ethics for their professional life, another for their spiritual life, and still another for their family life. This gets them into trouble. Why? Ethics is ethics. If we desire to be ethical, we live by one standard across the board. In other words, there is no such things as business ethics. Let me have this, that this is what people generally refer to as institutional ethics. So we're learning from both this legendary generational global leaders submitted to Robert. I'm adding that they call it situational ethics, that if you are in Rome, you behave like the Romans, and then if you are in another place, you behave like those people. You should have principles and values that actually dictate your actions, the decision that you take. Let me quickly talk about 6 areas where we need to talk about ethics. Sometimes somebody can behave ethically as a result of family pressure. Somebody can tell him or her, Maybe he or she has just been given a prominent position. It could be a political position, ministerial position. You could have just become a community leader like a king, could have just become an national leader like a vice chancellor, like a rector, like a provost, like a principal, like a headmaster or a headmistress. It could have been just any of these heading a parastatus, and then the family will begin to mount pressure. It could be the father who will just say that, after all, I fathered you, and so why wouldn't you do this for me? I want you to employ this set of number of people, and they know that they don't have the rights, the authority to do that, but they want to cut corners to do that. Some people will say that, after all, I furthered your education, I furthered your career, so why wouldn't you do this for me? Some people will even say that, I funded and financed you, your career, your education, where you are today. I am responsible for that. And some people will even say that, I fought for you when you were very young, when you could not distinguish between your right and your left. I fought for you. I was there for you. Number two, it could be friendship or peer pressure, peer group pressure. And sometimes it could be longing to fit in among your peers, the people in your age bracket, social bracket, and the people that you socialize with, and the people you relate with, and then they may be acting towards a particular end, which is not good. It's against your own personal ethics. It's against some moral value that you have acquired from teachings, religious teachings, and people have mentored you. Some people that are respected in the society, sometimes it could be as a result of low self-esteem. They give in, they cave in, they give up, and then they allowed themselves to crumble because they are so low self-esteem. Sometimes it could be because some people have loathsome for rejection. They hate to be rejected because when people sideline them and they ostracize them and they do not associate with them, they feel bad and they feel rejected, and because of that they now give up. And then number three, forces from foes. I like to let you know that sometimes you have people who are forthright, and over time, because they have been forthright, their foes rise up. Foes in plural rise up, and the forces from their foes begin to fight them because they have been forthright. They feel frightened because of their firmness, and then because they begin to do different things, they begin to ensure that they are flushed out. They plant temptation on their way, they set traps on their way, and they are unknown to them, they fall into the traps. The trap could be set through just enemies. Number four is feminine forces. I want to encourage you never to allow familiarity that breeds contempt. If you are a leader in your office, in your own rights, whichever capacity, and a woman who is not officially permitted will come to you, and when she speaks to you, you become weak, you become feeble, and then you cave in. You do what you are not supposed to do. She could weep. You know, that was what happened to King Solomon. She had how many wives? Hundreds of them. How many concubines? And one after the other, they started coming and they started crying. They whipped his emotions, and then he caved in. He gave up. And then you know what happened? He built idolatrous houses for all of them, one after the other. That was what happened to that spiritual giant, Samson. Oh, see, it was. And then a woman, Delilah, subdued him. Familiarity that flames fleshly passion, like it happened to Samson. As wise as Solomon was, women brought him down. As strong as Samson was, a woman brought him down. Familiarity that forced people down, leaders down. Avoid that. And then we have number five, fires of fame. Some people, it's because of popularity, it's because of fame. And then they begin to abuse authority and power. They suppress people, they repress people, and then they don't care what happens to others. They don't have feelings for the people that are under them. They don't know that the people under them, they are living things, they have feeling. Their feeling can be hurt. They don't know that they are family people who are responsible to feeding their family. They take decisions that kind of throw them off balance economically and otherwise. And they don't care that, you know, they are human beings. Absence of accountability. I want to challenge you that you should be accountable to God. Be accountable to the leader above you. Be accountable to the leader around you. Be accountable to people who are even under you. If you do that, you will see that you won't fall. What makes people to fall today? You know, they put them in the positions of ministerial positions, political ministerial positions, you know, and you know, religious ministerial positions as well. We've heard of ministers across the world that resigned as a result of accusations leveled against them for being too close, extremely close to opposite gender, for touching the money they were not supposed to touch, for going out when they were not supposed to go out. You know, it happened to one prime minister. He set a bad example. What himself was supposed to speak against and preach against and act against, he went out in the ungodly hour and started socializing. And you know, at the time he was not supposed to do that. You know the story. And this type of story keep on coming out. We keep on reading. And that's why you need this type of teaching and training, mentoring to help you not to fall into this. Number 6 is faulty foundation. Some people do not have foundation. I call it no foundation at all. Anything goes. Some people it is, low foundation. We have no foundation. We have low foundation. I remember reading several years ago, I read in the newspaper when the Burj Khalifa was the highest building all over the world. You know what happened? I read a story that the Burj Khalifa was built for 4 years, but it took the builders 3.5 months, 3 years, 3.5 years rather, 3 years, 6 months to build the foundation. And when they finished building the foundation, they brought engines that shake the foundation to see whether a volcanic eruptions, an earthquake would collapse the foundation. And when it didn't, they put the structure on it for 6 months, 3.5 years for building the foundation, and 6 months for building the structure that they put on it. Now, law is what helps us. Fiscal policies. That's number 7 now. Learn about fiscal policies. How transactions are done. What is supposed to be done. Corporate account, single account. Who is supposed to be involved. What is not supposed to be done. Shady this. Run away from them. What will smear your reputations. A good name is better than riches. Don't forget that if you have competence, if competence gives you a job, gives you a position, you need character to sustain you in that job. Somebody can recommend you. But if you are not careful, if you become lawless, and that's why I want to summarize by using the word law, L-A-W, L stands for love. That's why God gives us law. This word is governed by law. Love, A stands for authorities, and then W stands for weaknesses or wastages, and as well as winning. In between love and weaknesses and wastages and winning, it is sandwiched with authorities. You must submit to authorities. Those who run away from authorities and say they don't want to be governed by anybody, they don't want to be are led by anybody, they become lawless, and this makes them to fall. And you need to start learning how to be ethical in your behavior, in what you say, action you take and action you don't take, irrespective of where you find yourself and whosoever is asking you to do something. Make up your mind that irrespective of who the person is, irrespective of his position, if you know that something is wrong, say that this is wrong and I won't do it. I wouldn't mind losing my job. I wouldn't mind being removed. I wouldn't mind being sacked. I wouldn't mind being labeled, being called wrong names. I stand for this, and this is where I stand. When you do that, posterity will be happy that you took that decision. Later on, people around you will be happy that you took that decision, and you'll be glad that you have a clear conscience. Thank you very much for listening to me.
I appreciate every second you spent in listening to me. I want to tell you that time you spent listening to me is time invested, and you will never remain the same. I encourage you to share this with others. Subscribe to it, and as you consistently listen to it, keep on listening to it, you will never remain the same. Thank you very much.